Word of the Wolf, take one. Good morning, Wolves. Welcome to another Word of the Wolf. My name is Jude.
And my name is Caleb. We bring you the news on Friday mornings.
Today is Friday, February 9th, 2024.
We are happy you are here today.
Now let's get a school news report.
Hi, as you can see here, my name is Tommy.
And I'm Carter.
We are here to talk about Wolfpack news.
The Super Bowl is coming up. Who are you rooting for?
I guess I'm rooting for the Niners. Here's what others have to say.
The 49ers.
Woohoo!
The 49ers.
The 49ers and never ever the Chiefs.
I don't even know who's playing.
The Dallas Cowboys. Oh, wait, are they not in it?
No.
Oh, then I don't know.
Who's playing in the Super Bowl?
49ers.
49ers, yay!
49ers all the way.
I think Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
Chiefs all day! The Chiefs!
I can tell you who's winning that Super Bowl. It's going to be Taylor's boyfriend. Boop, boop.
I don't care who wins the Super Bowl because I'm going to be watching the Puppy Bowl.
I'm pulling for the underdog in Brock Purdy, but I really like Taylor's boyfriend.
Obviously, Taylor Swift is going to win the Super Bowl.
I think Kansas City will win, but I hope that the 49ers win.
I think the Eagles, Back closer to school. If you have not already registered for our Kids Heart Challenge, ask your parents to log in tonight. We are excited for this chance to support heart health in our own PE classes.
Hi, my name is Mia.
My name is Blaine.
And my name is Lane. Today we have Oliver and Jana Foster's mom, Miss Nicole Foster, here with us today.
Ms. Foster is a pharmacy technician who works closely with pharmacists.
Thank you for being here today, Miss Foster. What is a pharmacist technician?
Well, a pharmacy technician assists a pharmacist in dispensing and filling prescriptions. So, like when you go to the doctor and maybe you don't feel good, or you go to the doctor and get medicines that help you do normal everyday things, you got to go to the pharmacy and get those prescriptions filled. And the pharmacy technicians actually usually are the ones that are filling your prescriptions and putting them all together. And then the pharmacists check them to make sure they're right, and they're the ones who actually talk to you about the medicines when you pick them up.
What is the difference between a pharmacy technician and a pharmacist?
It's a great question. Pharmacists usually go to school for a very long time. Pharmacists will go to college for about 8 years after they get out of high school, and they have a doctorate in pharmacology. And pharmacy technicians have different types of education that they go through. And they go through training programs or certificate programs, but they are highly trained and can get certificates and things like that. But the biggest thing is that they do more of the technical skills, so like the day-to-day, like basic functions of a pharmacy, and the pharmacists do the higher level, like checking to make sure that, for instance, the medicine's not going to hurt you, or to make sure that the medicine doesn't interact or cause problems with anything that you're also taking as well.
What training do you need to become a pharmacy technician?
Well, it varies by state. It's not standard across the United States, which is kind of stinky, and I wish it was. But in the state of Tennessee, you have to go to high school or get a GED, and you have to be 18. And you have to get a license through the state of Tennessee, through the State Board of Pharmacy. And it really helps if you pass a national exam. And in order to do that, you have to complete a training program that you can do some online and some in person.
How do you use science and technology in your job?
Well, pharmacy uses a lot of science and technology. It can actually be really cool. There are a lot of different facets of pharmacy, and pharmacy itself, you can develop new drugs, and it's really cool. I mean, chemistry is a big part of science and is a big part of pharmacy. So day to day, we use a lot of math, which some of you may not love, but We use a lot of math, and there's all kinds of like robotics that are used in pharmacy, a lot of machines, computers. You have to be able to use a computer pretty well, and then just really being able to do basic tasks with those robots and computers and things like that. So I would say you use science and technology pretty much all day, every day in pharmacy.
How do you use math and art in your job?
Well, we use math a lot. We have to figure out how much medicine to give you. Sometimes the doctor will just write what medicine they want you to have and the dose they want you to have. So we actually have to figure out how much that means to give you. And the pharmacy technicians actually do that. And then the pharmacist will check us and make sure we did that right. As far as art goes, I don't really know that we use art in pharmacy. I'm sure somebody does somewhere, but I personally don't. That's not my forte. Jana over here is my little artist. I'm not personally don't use art very much.
We use the engineering and design process here at school. What happens if you make a mistake, and how do you try again?
Well, as with anything in healthcare, right, with doctors and nurses and pharmacists and pharmacy technicians, mistakes can be important and really challenging. So we try not to make them, but it happens because we're all human. So if we make mistakes, we try to fix it as quickly as possible, because in our line of work, a mistake might mean giving you the wrong type of medicine. And in some people, for some cases, it's not a big deal. That might mean that you just take something and it's not a big deal, or you not take it at all and we catch it before you take the medicine. But in some cases, it could mean that it hurts people. So we just have to make sure we catch those mistakes before they happen. And so we just try to fix them as quick as we can, and try to implement processes and changes to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And part of what I do now is I'm a member of the Tennessee Board of Pharmacy, and so we write lots of rules and regulations to try to create checks and balances and processes for the whole state, so that pharmacies can be better at their job and not make as many mistakes.
Medicines sometimes look alike. How do you make sure you give the correct medicine to the right person?
That's a really good question. I think that goes back to your technology questions from earlier. We have a lot of really cool software and capabilities with our computer systems that'll actually flash a picture of what the pill or the bottle or the medicine is supposed to look like on the screen, so that we can try to match it with what we have in our hand and be like, that's not the same. We also, will look at the pill and look at the label and try to match everything. There are these really cool things called NDC numbers that are like little barcodes that help us match up everything. And then as pharmacy technicians, we try to get all that as correct as possible. And then that's what part of the pharmacist's job is to make sure that we have everything in there correct.
New medical discoveries happen all the time. How do you keep up with the ever-changing medical development and diseases?
That's a great question. So for a long time, I worked in a pharmacy and waited on patients every day and helped make sure that people got their medicines when they came to the store or came to the hospital. But now part of what I do is I work for a company that does what's called continuing education, and we help educate pharmacists and educate pharmacy technicians so that they stay up to date on what's happening out in the world. So they can learn about what's happening with treatment for diabetes, or people with high blood pressure, or people that have, issues with other things. So we help create education, and they can read articles on it, and they can read stuff to help them be better at their jobs. So that's actually what I do now, is help create that education for them.
Cool.
What advice would you give someone who is wishing to be a pharmacist when he or she grows up?
That's a great question. So I think in order to be a pharmacist or a pharmacy technician, I think you have to, especially to be a pharmacist, I think you gotta like school. If you want to be a pharmacist, you got to go to college, and you got to get your bachelor's degree, and then you got to go to pharmacy school, which is super fun. You got to like chemistry and you got to like math. Both of those things are pretty cool. I definitely advise it. It's a very fulfilling job. So you got to make good grades. You got to try real hard. You got to be committed, and you got to go to college. And I definitely think if you want to work in pharmacy, the best thing would be when you turn 18 is to get a job in a pharmacy, because you can do that as a pharmacy technician at this moment without really having to go through a program or go through a school or something like that in the state of Tennessee. So you can get that practice, especially if you want to be a pharmacist. You don't have to be a pharmacist to work in a pharmacy. You can be a pharmacy technician and still have a really fulfilling career and not have to, take on a ton of debt and student loans and all the things that are associated with being a pharmacist. Now, if you can get that paid for, kudos to you. But if not, then you can still, have a really fulfilling career and still do something really cool. So I think just being committed and deciding what you want to do, but you kind of have to like school to do that. So.
Thank you for sharing things about your job.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Travis.
We bring you this week's Beanstack Report.
You have until February 20th to log in your 600 minutes.
If you log your 600 minutes, you will get hot chocolate in the library.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Philip.
Philip who?
Fill up my cup with hot chocolate. I'm thirsty.
Now let's pass it over to Liam and Annie.
Hi, I'm Liam.
And I'm Annie.
Our lunch options today are fish sticks and chicken drumsticks with a side of hush puppies and guess what? Rolls!
Our vegetables are broccoli and cheese or infinity fries. And our fruits today are grapes, apples, tropical fruit, and applesauce.
With your choice of fresh milk.
And today's weather will be a high of 65 and a low of 47 degrees. The chance of rain is 40%. Today will be a good day to play your favorite board game.
Now will you please pause for a moment of silence? And will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic in which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for our conclusion.
Get ready, wolves, because February 12th is our 6th Spirit Day. Be sure to wear your spirit gear.
Let's try to have every single person to have at least one piece of wolf gear.
If you don't have any spirit wear, just wear something red or blue.
We also are having our spirit night at Prince Street Pizza.
That concludes our Word of the Wolf. Have a great weekend.
Liberty, 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 creek.